been created. I guess the reporters have to find an angle, right, for their stories. So, but there have been, of course, there are clearly differences in ideology in any senatorial slate. But again, the area of commonality, the battle, the war against poverty, is sufficiently large and sufficiently important that we have decided that is what we will focus upon. We will focus upon what we have in common, and that is to fight against poverty and to help our people, and to put the other ideological battles at least not at the forefront. We will continue to fight them, but not at the forefront.
So you have meetings as a group as well?
Oh yeah. Hindi naman, I mean, kung hindi tayo, hindi naman, hindi naman personal ang wala naman akong kasalanan sa kanila, magagalit sila sa akin. Wala naman silang kasalanan sa akin, magagalit ako sa kanila. So what's the big deal of me sitting next to them and talking and having a coffee? Nothing. We'll just agree, we've agreed to disagree on many things, certain things. But to work for the campaign, we work very, very well towards the campaign. To help our candidate, Manny Gujar, we've done very well doing it. To stay unified. And again, it really derives from Senator Villar's belief that the problems we face are so complex and so difficult that we must hear from every sector as to their view on the problems and as to their view on the solution. Furthermore, when we decide upon the solutions to those problems, to implement them, again, the problems are so profound and so difficult that to implement any solutions we might come up with will require the assistance of every sector of society for that to be successful. And that's why it is his belief that putting together disparate groups into one is going to be an advantage rather than a liability.
Pat, you're next.
What can you say about the recent appointment of General Ban?
I think it was a bad idea. I think they should have extended Ibrado so that the new president can put whoever yung gusto niya, tao niya. Just on a purely operational point of view. Madali lang naman sana yung extension. Although that's okay because there are many competent people naman in government, in the military, and if that is the president's choice, it's of course her prerogative. But I think it would have made for a better transition if his position as chief of staff was extended until after the election to allow the new president to pick his own chief of staff.
Pat, you're next.
Congressman, last year I wrote what yung tinatawag na open August kung it was July na time right now, and it's happening now. Question: what would be the plan of action of the nationalista, or particularly of your camp, if mangyari yung natatakutan na holdover plan of this administration?
Well, the holdover plan will simply not happen because there are no provisions in law for holding anybody over after June 30. So maliwanag that whoever ran and whatever happens to the proclamation, whatever happens to the election, we are done on the 30th of June. And if we don't have anybody in place by then, if the important officials have not yet been proclaimed by then there have been many mechanisms that are being discussed, like who is the most senior senator, who is not a candidate, etc., etc. But in our part, in the Nacionalista Party, we are trying to do every possible thing we can think of, and that others can think of, to make sure that the elections do not fail, that the conduct of election is orderly, it is peaceful, and it will have a credible result at the end of it all. Let me just put it this way. If somehow the forces that are conspiring to destroy this election, to fail this election, succeed in holding off proclamation for an extended period of time, the power vacuum that they will create will be filled. It will not be filled by them. It will be filled by other groups.
The second one. Second one. I saw you play the saxophone. You were great.
I wasn't. I'm lousy already. I haven't played it. I'm such a. I tried, but my God, it's been many years, and I used to be okay, but now I'm not okay anymore. But anyway, thank you.
Yeah, I was really impressed. Kung wala ka sa politika, hindi ka ba ayaw mo bang maging musician or what?
I'm still hoping to be a rock star one of these days. I still dream that one day after all this is over, I'm going to end up on stage with Mick Jagger and put on a wonderful concert. But I guess the days for that are gone. I was very, very interested in music for a I studied music for years. And I, of course, flirted with the idea of continuing having a musical career and taking it up professionally. But, you know, other things in reality intervened. In fact, even in my studies, I had hoped to study. All my training is in sciences and in mathematics. I was studying physics and mathematics for a very long time, until I went to university when it was suggested that the more practical thing to do would be to study philosophy and economics and politics. So that's what I did. So there are many things that I wanted to do, but I can still listen to good music. I can still go into the record store and buy the best music available. I can still order old stuff from Amazon. So the music has never left my life. I can, and I always say it is the only thing that really, you know, after a very long, difficult, bad day, music's the only thing that will change your mood. And I simply cannot imagine life without music. That's my mother's influence. We always had music playing in our house, even when we were kids. Laging may tumutugtog, may kumakanta, may nagpipiano. Always. And so naging parte talaga ng buhay namin. That's why all of us are all very, very musical in our own ways. So I'm still holding out for the rock star phase of my life. I don't know if it's ever gonna come at this point.
Thank you.
All right.
And now maybe you might have some last words.
No,
Last
quite frankly, I think we've exhausted many of the subjects that normally that are not completely examined. I think I just like to thank all of you to giving me access to your blogs and to giving me access to your audience, and hopefully that this non-traditional medium, this non-traditional way of informing people about the issues of government, the issues in the campaign, the issues about around this election, and what candidates are doing and what their positions are. This will be an additional means to give, again, that information to people, and in that way allow them a more intelligent choice come May election. So thank you for that opportunity, and I encourage all of you who are listening, who are monitoring this, who are watching this, to please take an interest. It is the most important thing that we will do for the next few weeks. It is going to determine the future of this country. It is going to determine your future. That's how important it is. So let's take it seriously, learn about it, and make an intelligent choice in it. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we have a photo shoot?
Sure.
Because to be viral.
Bragging rights.
Bragging rights, and we can put it in our blogs.
Pang Facebook, in our
Yes, exactly.